During World War II, a young girl in Amsterdam fought her battle against chaos with nothing more than paper and ink. Anne Frank wrote by candlelight while her world collapsed outside the attic walls. Her family hid in silence while armies marched in the streets. She dreamed of light, but darkness closed in. At 15 years old, her life was cut short. Some would say she lost that battle, yet her voice endures, testifying that even in the face of worry, doubt, and fear, faith, hope, and love can still be counted on. Indeed, more than 60 years ago, Martin Luther King Jr. stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and lifted his voice against chaos in America. He dreamed aloud of freedom and justice. And though his life too was cut short, his dream still echoes. And so leaders of children today give their lives to this same fight, not to shrink from the challenges, but to rise up to meet them. In a sense, I've come here in this video to raise the sun. When the maker of the day hangs the sun in the sky, starting in the east and pulling it upward by an invisible string, the world dares to hope that today can be better than yesterday. That hope is given to all men, to all women, to every child. The hope of a new day. But it is obvious today that America has a crisis on her hands, especially as far as her children are concerned. A crisis of new days that threaten not to shine. Because you, leaders of children, are the sun in the lives of the kids you lead. And the sun must come out tomorrow. I refuse to believe the sun will stop shining in the east. I refuse to believe those who provide the light of hope will not rise. Yes, there may be cloud cover. Yes, storms may come. But the sun shines even then. And that is why I am here to remind you, you are the rising of the sun for the children you serve. They look to you to see who they are, where they are going, and what can be done. I've also come to this time to warn you against the running of red lights. The red lights of complacency and apathy, to warn you it would be dangerous to idle in neutral while the next generation runs out of time. Some believe the struggle of leading children can simply be somebody else's problem. But we cannot ignore the dying batteries within our children. Some hope the problems will reset themselves. But ignoring error messages never fixes what is broken. There will be no lasting peace in our classrooms, in our homes, on our fields, or in our churches until we rise and face the fight against chaos within our own hearts. There will be no order in our schools until administrators shine again as examples of leadership and grace. There will be no faith in our classrooms until teachers shine again as examples of endurance and perseverance. There will be no hope in our community until mentors shine again as examples of character and selflessness. And there will be no love in our homes until parents shine again as examples of stability fearlessness. Yes, the storms of exhaustion may shake us, but they will also reveal the fresh growth of new hope when we allow our roots to grow deeper still. Now, there is something I must say to my people, to my fellow leaders of children who stand in the gap and say, "Send me, I will go." We must do what is right. We cannot say one thing and do another. We cannot expect the children that follow us to follow through on their word when we deny our own. We cannot ask them to never give up on themselves if we are willing to give up on ourselves. We cannot drink from the cup of sorrow and self-pity. We must quench our thirst with righteousness. We must hunger for faithfulness to our calling as leaders of future leaders. For we are the soil in which seeds are planted. And if the soil is poisoned by bitterness, nothing will grow right. But if the soil is tended, if we do not grow weary in well-doing, then the harvest will come in due season. If we faint not, our own determination, rising on behalf of our classrooms, of our homes, of our community, must not cause us to work against our own leaders. We must work with them for the sake of the children. We cannot fight each other and expect the children to win. We cannot pull in opposite directions and hope the next generation moves forward. We cannot let frustration with leadership turn into division, because divided, we fall, but united, we stand. And we cannot forget that the child that is following our lead, learning what unity looks like, will one day be an authority of their own. So we must make this pledge that we will work together, not for our own comfort, not for our own credit, but for the future of the children we serve.